Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. I am your host, Tom Gaddis. I have my co-host on here, Richie Cronin.
Hey, Tom. Hey, everyone. Happy Friday. Yeah, end of another week.
Happy Friday. We got a great live show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about how to automate your wealth using your business to help you do that. Also outside your business. We're going to take your questions. We're going to do some shout outs. We're just going to hang out and have an all-around good time. So grab a cool drink. Sit back, relax. I'm going to cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in one momento. Oop, wrong one. Where? There it is.
It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Always such a warm welcome every week on the live show. I love you.
Just remember, bourbon makes it better. Especially if you're in Kentucky.
It's so funny that you say that. I was in I was looking at some posts in this marketing Facebook group, and somebody said they're in the tequila business. And they're asking if anybody else was in the tequila business. And I put in the comments that my wife was on the weekends. I had this gif of Courtney Cox, and she's like, I can't say no to tequila.
My wife is dangerous with tequila, but it's not so much for herself. It's the people around her. You know, she's very good at just getting trays of shots and making everyone have them. And yeah,
well, we know it's the Aloha Friday Jam Session. So welcome, Patty. I see Patty's the only one popping in the comments right now. Well, welcome. I see we got 20 people on here. Say hello in the comments. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, and don't forget to make sure you've accepted the StreamYard link so we can see who you are.
Yes, exactly. So today we're going to be talking about automating your wealth. I think you guys are going to love that. What's up, Edgar? Oh, I see some new ones coming in. What's up, Frankie? David? Welcome. Yeah, we're going to have fun today. It is.
Yeah, we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects.
What is that?
Money.
Oh, yeah. My favorite subject, Richie, subject is me. But money comes in a close second. Money comes in a close second. Yeah, it's interesting because we don't really spend we spend a lot of time talking about, getting traction with an agency, building an agency, systems, processes, all of those things. It is difficult sometimes to talk about money because this is very, very important. Neither Richie nor I are CPAs. We are not.
I'm not a registered financial advisor.
That's right. We do not give legal advice. We're going to talk about some general principles that are just good. And really, I want to talk about some things to just bring them to your awareness because we don't talk about them. And I think that can be a disservice over the years. For instance, when you're working for yourself, right? You're working for yourself. So you have to handle your own taxes, right? Like, when someone gets a nice, cushy corporate job, the taxes are handled by the company, right? The company withholds the company usually sets up a 401k. There's medical insurance. There's things like that. Those are all things that as entrepreneurs, we have to handle for ourselves.
Yep.
And so while we're not going to talk about specifics or about what you should do, we are going to talk about I am going to kind of share some of the things we do, the people we've searched out, and the people that you want to, look to get a grip on those things. So basically the idea here is if you're not a person that is maybe you feel like this is a weak spot for you, that like, do you know how to read a financial balance sheet? Do you know how to set up a financial balance sheet? Like, maybe you don't. Well, that's a problem, right? When you're an entrepreneur, it's very important that we know how to look at our financial balance sheets and really know what's going on in our business. Taxes, another thing. Maybe you're like, look, I just don't understand taxes. Well, look, here's the deal. Taxes are going to be one of the biggest expenses that comes out of your company and your business. Like, not understanding taxes is not even an option. Like, if you don't understand them, you have to go out and figure and learn what they are in your area, what they are for your business, like, you need to seek out professional advice, because like I said, it's one of the biggest expenses that will come out of your business.
Yeah, and Tom, it's also managing your money, your invoicing, getting paid, and all those things and stuff. I mean, obviously, professional advice, you can't go past it. It's essential. But even before you get there, you've got to regard it. Don't put it to one side and ignore it simply because it's difficult or you don't know and you've got to learn so much and all those things and that. You've got to just a lot of time frame to it. It's like, hey, every Monday morning between 8:45 and 9:30, I work on my financials. I make sure that my billing's up to date and everything else and stuff and that. I make sure at the start of the week I have that habit. And that's not me just having to do admin and everything else and that. I regard that as a revenue producing activity, simply because I'm managing my money. And when you manage your money and actually look after it in your business, being an entrepreneur, then it's actually, you are finding ways to save money. You are, maximizing its efficiency. So that's a part of wealth creation as well, is having that discipline and just applying a bit of time to it and having a bit of focus on it.
You use the dreaded D word. I hate discipline. I've had to force myself to learn it and adhere to it over the years. And it's probably, it's one of the things that I really have struggled with for a long time. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting better, right? I'm not great at it, but I get better and better because I just keep chipping away at it. And that's really what you want to do with this kind of stuff. And I know we're talking about, well, how do you automate this wealth process? So let's talk about that a little bit within terms of your business. So I never, like, when I was first starting my business, and this is one of those situations where I know maybe some of you have heard my story about being on unemployment and not having any money, my back's against the wall, and I got to make the agency thing work. Like, I tell that story not to say that that's how you should be doing it, because this is a situation of where you should not do what I did, right? But you should do it better. And so for me, like, when I was trying to get my business off the ground, when the business was making money, I was just trying to pay bills. And like, I literally, on a Monday, I would be like, okay, what bills are due this week? And I would go out and I would just do whatever I had to do to get clients to pay that bill for the week. But what that did was not good for my business, because when taxes rolled around, I had a tax bill, but I wasn't prepared for it. I had done no advanced planning. So one of the things I had to figure out in my business right away was like, okay, well, I need to find somebody who can tell me, like, well, what is that tax bill going to look like? Because I don't know how it is for where you guys are at, but where I'm at in Nevada and where Nick is at in the US, if you make over a certain amount in your business, you have to pay estimated taxes every quarter, meaning they will look at the amount of money you made last year and they will say, okay, based on that, this is how much your taxes are going to be, and you have to pay them quarterly. So one of the first things that Nick and I did was we found a professional that could help us figure that out, so that we would know, like, okay, on the 15th, and I think it's January 15th, June 15th, September 15th. Those are the days that the times you pay, right? Am I missing one?
There'd be December, is it? November, December?
April. So January 15th, April 15th, June 15th, and then September 15th. There's not one during the holiday season, which I think they did on purpose for that, right? So Those are the 4 quarters. So once we were able to see like, okay, well, based on what we're doing, and it's again, there's a, this doesn't mean it's all going to be hunky-dory and smooth sailing, because what will happen to you is in the beginning, you're not going to know what your income is. So it's going to be hard. Like you're going to have to like look at what you're doing on a monthly basis and figure out based on that, like, look, I think this is what my taxes are going to be. Once you have a history, the other thing that can really set you back is a sudden jump in income, because then you're paying these estimated taxes, but you're not paying enough, right? So that's the thing. So we need to know what's going on, right? We need to get the information first, and then we automate the process in our business. So for us, what we did, and again, this is not legal or financial advice. You should consult somebody and see what's right for you. But what we did is we opened a separate sub account. So we have a business account, and then we opened a separate sub account that is our tax account. And we automate the withdrawal of money from our main operating account into the tax account on a monthly basis. So we know, like, at the end of a quarter, this is how much is due. So we just divide that by the months in the quarter. And then each month that amount of money is moved over to pay for the taxes, right? So there's that, right? There's the taxes. Important, we want to take care of that so that we're not scrambling, at the end of the year to figure all that out, or worse, find ourselves not being able to pay our taxes. That can derail your business faster than almost anything, right? So that's one way we automate that process. The second thing Nick and I did is we determined like a reserve, and a prudent reserve, an amount of money that we don't let our operating account go under. And by that, what I mean is, like, as a business owner, you're going to be paying for business expenses out of the business account, right? If you want to take money out of your company, you have to take what they call a draw. And so, we have a set amount that has to stay in the operating account. So if the operating account is at our reserve or it's under our reserve, we don't take any money out, right? Like, we can only take money out when it's over that. And sometimes we don't, depending on what we're trying to do. So, just having that, the only word is like that, those kinds of automations in place where, like, okay, all right, we've got the taxes taken care of. We also automate the savings process. So, at our company, we have we set up, because we're business owners, we had to go and set up an owner 401k, because you can't just set up a regular 401k. Like, they make, and again, you need to check in your area, but they make specific 401ks for entrepreneurs and owners, but there's limits and things, like, you need to know the details, because if you decide to hire employees and you have an owner 401k, you can have issues because you have to provide them for your employees too. So you want to make sure you know what's going on, if you're going to have employees, if you're not going to have employees, that type of stuff. So we were able to set up our own 401ks, and we automate that process too. So the 401k contributions and the company match all come out of the operating account automatically without our involvement, and all at all the appropriate times, because our CPA sets it up that way. That way we don't have to think about it. We don't have to rely on ourselves to be like, oh, we should put this money over there, but we really want to spend it on this. Like, we just automate that process, right? So
yeah. That's a great way of doing it too. Is having those discipline. Again, there's that word, but for most agency owners, if you're making, I don't know, about $10,000 a month that's coming in and stuff, then having a system that you use, like I use QuickBooks here in the States, I use Xero in New Zealand, and that does my automatic billing, which you check on those things and stuff, and then as it comes back in, you have those multiple bank accounts, and it simply shifts off 20-30%, whatever it needs to be, your number into that account. You set those things up, then all you're doing is managing them, as opposed to manually doing everything all the time. And so that's a really good automation to to have in your business, and a discipline that you apply to it, and then you don't have to worry about it. You carry on focusing on delivering customer stuff, and everything else that goes with it. Of course, there's two types of money, Tom. There's fast money and slow money. And so I guess in a business like the environment that we're all in here, that's what we consider to be fast money. It's fast dollars. They come, they go out as well. So those things. But slow dollars are the ones that really create wealth, and that's through things like investing in property and other things. Those are slow dollars, and they are really the big wealth builders.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you kind of get some stability in your business and here's the other part, like there's stability in your business financials, and then there's stability in your personal financials. Like you want to make sure that you are working on both of those things, because if you have shaky personal financials, it will impact the business financials, right? Yeah. Sandy, I used to think too, I'll just make more money. That'll solve all the problems. It doesn't. It doesn't. In fact, it can make the problems even more pronounced and bigger if you don't get a handle on that stuff, right? So it is important. It is important that you think about this stuff, and that if you work at it. Like, I'm not great at this stuff. Like, I have to constantly work at this, and I'm not perfect at it. Nick's not perfect at it. I'm sure Richie's not perfect at it. We're all works in progress in this area, but the reason
I'm surprisingly I'm not perfect at it, Tom. But my wife's bridesmaid from when we got married, and one of her best friends, she's actually my accountant, my CPA, and with leaving New Zealand, she's also a director of all of our companies as well. So I've got someone who I can not only do I trust, but she has very sound advice, and she knows what to do and when to do it, and that takes a lot of stress and a lot of burden off me as well. So, but I have been learning a new tax system and the way that business is done here in the States, and it's different from how we do it at home. Not greatly different, but there are things you just have to school yourself up on, and I've had to apply a bit of thought and effort to those things and learning those systems. So that's just something you have to do as an agency owner. It's you can't ignore it, because then it becomes a really big problem, and it could be such a big problem that it prevents you from being able to carry on as being an agency as well. So you've got to keep in mind to those things, even when you're going through that set up, build, get everything going phase, but at the same time, I don't go and dedicate all my time to that and planning all the things that are going to happen down the line, because that stops me from actually creating that money in the first place and getting the business moving. You've just got to get the ball rolling and take care of these things as you go along.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and when I was first getting my business off the ground, like I said, the taxes thing, I just could not get that to work. And so, once I finally was able to roll that in, which took a couple of years, like I had to do some cleanup work on my tax situation. I had to go back and refile and change things and just take care of it. Here's Nick and I's kind of stance on this sort of stuff, right? Like, we want to, obviously, because taxes are a big expense, we want to pay the least amount as possible legally. Like, we are very adamant about doing things above board and by the book, and not trying to cut corners or skate the system or anything like that. Like, we have no problem paying what we owe. We just want to make sure what we owe is right. Right. So, and that, what we're doing is what we're doing. So, look, again, that's why we always stress to everybody, even in our remote millionaires program, like, you need to find a qualified person to talk to you about the laws in your area, what's going on. Everybody's situation is different, and you just want to see what's the best structure for your business, what's the best way to move forward, all that stuff for your specific situation. And all of that stuff will pay off, right? It will help you in the long run. I know Sandy was saying, like, I just like to make more money. So Sandy, I laugh about this all the time, because I remember telling my wife with a completely straight face, okay? Like, we're sitting in my office. This is way back. This is before Offline Sharks. Like, my agency, I'm trying to get my agency to 6 figures. And I remember sitting in my office and telling my wife with a straight face, if I could just make $10,000 a month, we would never have to worry about anything again. And like, I seriously believed it wholeheartedly. Like, I just had this number in my head that 10,000 a month was going to solve all my problems and everything would be smooth sailing from that point on. And, that number came and that number went, and it's not smooth sailing after that. Like, there's other things, as your business grows. Like, Nick and I have had to learn all kinds of new things because our businesses have been growing, right? Like, we had to learn about how to put together an operating agreement. We've had to deal with attorney. Like, they're just, there's new stuff that comes with what's going on, is all I'm trying to say. So just make sure you're prepared for that. You're aware of it, and that you don't fall into that fantasy of thinking that, like, oh yeah, once I hit this, it's just all going to be smooth sailing. It's not.
And use the right tools. There are great systems and processes for these things out there that can really lead you to the right people and doing the right things right from the get-go. So use the right tools, and that's just a case of swatting up on what's going to work for me. My favorite port of call for finding something like that is just go to Google. Google will tell you what works for people out there. And when you see something that's got 5,000 5-star reviews, that means there's probably 5,000 other people like you who are using it and they like it. So, it's pretty easy to find the right things, but you can't ever replace talking to a professional. And I know there's plenty of accountants, lawyers, attorneys, what have you, and stuff that they're quite happy to meet a new customer. And you can glean a lot of advice from a meeting that doesn't cost you anything to go and shake a hand, have a cup of coffee, and get some advice, because they're scouting for new customers. So be that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Look around. I mean, I'm sure you can find somebody in your area that would be willing to do like a free, just like what we do, free strategy sessions, right? Free wealth building things. Also, another good thing you can do is look around in your community for any type of programs or things that are there to help people. Like, for instance, I know there's a lot of like new home buyer programs and things like that. My wife and I, a long time ago, we did a financial course. There was like a Dave Ramsey. They put on these Dave Ramsey financial, I don't know what they call them anymore. I mean, this has been a really long time ago, but like, you go and meet, and there's an instructor, and you watch videos, and there's a workbook, and they walk you through, the kind of Dave Ramsey process, that type of thing. So look out for that kind of stuff. If you're interested in these things, some books that we've recommended on this live show before about this stuff. Profit First. I actually did some podcast episodes with that guy and with one of his students. If you go to tomgaddis.com, you'll see some of those, but Profit First is really how to apply, good financial decisions to your business. If you're interested in trying to learn how to read financials, hold on, let me grab this.
I see. Sorry, excuse me, Edgar. You guys have a quid pro quo marketing for tax services. The old barter system works well. Yep. And I've got a great story to tell you about I've done a bit of bartering this week, and then I got another new customer as well. I can tell you now, but I might tell you after the shout outs, and it's quite funny and quite amusing.
Now, this is a book that Cameron, our operations extraordinaire, recommended to me. If you're just wanting to learn about business accounting and how to read financials and things like that, it's called The Accounting Game, straight from the lemonade stand. And what's really great about this book is it's written so I can understand it. And there's plenty of drawings. So that helps Excellent. As well. But look, it's got like the income statement that it's just written in a really easy to understand way. Sometimes, and so Cameron and I have the same mentor. And one of the things that he always taught us to do was, like, when we're trying to learn a complicated subject, one of the tips he gave us was to look for kids' books about the subject. because it can like reading the kids book will make it easier for you to start to understand before you go into some of the harder books. And so this one is kind of written for families and for you to teach your kids about this stuff. But that's a little tip for you guys. If you're trying to learn a complicated subject, see if there's any books for kids on it. Get those, read those so you can get a feel, and then pick up the other book. So that's one. Let me look.
I always use those, accounting for dummies, or those are a series of things. But some of them are really thick, and particularly a subject like accountancy or taxation, or something that's a complicated system. I find I just don't relate to it enough. I'm just reading words. I have to stay really, really focused to try and absorb that information. So something that sort of shows you diagrams and stuff. And I have a big preference these days to watching a video instead. I'd rather watch someone talk about it and use a whiteboard. I'll absorb that a lot quicker. But hey, at the end of the day, it's about getting the information into your head that will add value to you in your business and moving forward.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Giovanni, that was it. I think it was Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. I think that was the one.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, find somebody like, hey, look, Jules, I'm with you. We went through that. Did it change how we did things? Not really. I don't know if it made that big of an impact. But look, the point is that you want to be doing something to get better, right? Find somebody that you can trust, that you can follow, that seems like they know what they're talking about. Do all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, that's right, Patty. What's Cam's reading? So I want to talk about another part of this as well, because Richie kind of mentioned this, and he talked about, okay, there's our business, and then there's like, well, what do we do with that income we're making? So there's a couple of concepts that we talk. I don't know if I've talked about them recently, but we tend to talk about them from time to time in our community. And so one of them is like, not putting your eggs all in one basket. Like, this is an important part. And when we're talking about building an agency, like, Richie talked about fast money, slow money. Think about fast money as the one-off project that you can get and do right away and you get a check for it. Think about the slow money as the reoccurring services that you sell and you build up over time, right? Like, getting one client at $1,000 a month is great, but having 40 clients at $1,000 a month, which is going to take time. There's no way to do that, but take time, right? Like, it's going to take time to do that. Like, it just kind of compounds and builds. So, we shifted our focus at our agency pretty quickly from the beginning, from like one-off business to being in the recurring business model. And what I mean by that is, in the beginning, we were doing websites. And while websites were great and they provided us with cash flow, they were also very up and down, because we would get projects and then we'd have long gaps, and it was not good for our business cash flow. So to get our business cash flow up, we started working on automating a process of upselling our website clients from a one-time thing to a monthly recurring. And so we did that with SEO. We did it with Google paid ads. We did it with social media. So not all at once. First we added SEO, then we added social media, then we added paid ads, and we added reputation. So it's gradually happened over time that now we're doing more. Like, we bring on more clients for recurring services, and now we sell websites from time to time, right? Like, in the beginning, we were selling a lot of websites and we're just trying to get people into recurring. So, thinking about how you can automate that process of taking your one-time clients and putting them into recurring will help you with your business. And then, not putting your eggs all in one basket in terms of either the types of businesses you service, the locations you service. For instance, recently, probably a year and a half ago, we brought on a full-time sales rep at the agency, and she started prospecting on Oahu and other islands beside Maui. We had no idea at the time that the fires were going to happen, right? And the fires put a big dent in our Maui business. If we had had all of our eggs in the Maui basket, we could have really been in trouble. There are lots of things that really could have put us in trouble there. One, if we didn't have prudent reserves, if we didn't have that stuff in our business, and if we were only prospecting on Maui, like we could have been in trouble, right? We could have been in real trouble. But because we practice the things that I'm talking about on the show, like we have plenty of money built up in the agency to weather a storm. We were already expanding out to other areas in Hawaii. So starting on Oahu, and now we're focusing on those areas even more. Because we're doing the things we're talking about, we really haven't felt the pinch or really been in any danger of the agency having any real issues, right? And that's really what doing the things we're talking about in this show will allow you to do. So think about that. Are all my eggs in one basket? I'll tell you how I put all my eggs in one basket early on was I, through just perseverance and luck, had managed to get 4 clients that were paying me $1,000 a month. 4 or 5 maybe. When I had those 5 clients, I thought, man, I have arrived. Like I am doing pretty good, right? All of a sudden, prospecting wasn't that high on my list anymore because I had these 5 clients. They were paying me $1,000 a month. They were paying their bills on time, Richie. Like they were
you start sitting back on your laurels a bit, boy. Like, hey, life's good.
Yeah, it was like, I'd had these clients for 6. I mean, some of them I'd had for over a year. Like they were solid clients. Like I'm thinking these clients are never going anywhere, right? This is going to be easy sailing. And this, ironically enough, was about the time that I was starting to talk to Nick. And the reason I was starting to talk to Nick was because I had these clients and I was sick of doing the fulfillment. And so I was trying to rope Nick into doing the fulfillment for me because I had got these clients. And so this was kind of like our first attempt to do business together. I was like, look, why don't you do the fulfillment for me? And he says, okay, I'll do it. We agree. He comes on board. Over the next 60 days, I lost all 5 of those clients. And all 5 of them went for things that I couldn't stop. Like one of them, their daughter graduated from college with a marketing degree. So they turned everything over to the daughter. Like, well, yeah. It was crazy how it was like all of a sudden it was like I had no clients. I was like, what the heck? So, but because I had not been focused on prospecting and because I had not been doing what I should have been doing, it was a problem. And so, that painful lesson is why you hear us talk all the time about consistent prospecting and how we have to be prospecting consistently.
Yeah, you got to put stuff in the top of the funnel to make it come out of the bottom. Because otherwise it just runs through, and you got to keep feeding your funnel. And I go on about it all the time, especially in reaches. It's not just about doing a blast out to people and then going, oh, good, I got some free listings. That's it. No, that's the start of the process because you have to keep on working it, and you've got to have the discipline again every day to use those systems to generate more activity and customers and relationships and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, you've just got to put those systems and practices in place. Those automations will make you money, but fill that funnel. It's got to be on autopilot. Filling that funnel, you have to do it.
Yeah, and that is also why, like, and I tell you that story because like a lot of the things you're gonna say, it's not because we're so smart. It's because we made these mistakes like throughout all the stuff we're doing. And like, once you make the mistake, you're like, oh my God, I don't ever want to be in that position again. Right. And so, I share them with you, hopefully, so that you guys will avoid those mistakes as well. So let's talk about some other ways that we can automate the process. And, we talked about recurring revenue, right? Bringing in recurring revenue. So one thing I always look at too is like, okay, well, when my business is stable and it's got some traction, like, well, what other things can I be doing to create income from things I'm already doing? Like this idea of having, I know a lot of people when they think of multiple streams of income, they tend to think of things like doing different stuff. So you have one business and you get that one going, and then you start these multiple streams by starting new businesses, right? Like that are different, that are out. That is kind of an approach that Nick takes in his personal life. So you guys know out there, like he's investing in real estate, building up a real estate portfolio. So he's, leveraging the, what he's created at the agency to build this other business in real estate and do those types of things. I do it a little differently. So like when my agency was getting off the ground, like I didn't want to go, like I have a family, a lot of stuff going on, right? So I didn't have the bandwidth to just go start learning a new skill and building up another thing. So I had to figure out, well, how can I take what I'm already doing and figure out a way to generate additional income from that. The fact that you're on this live show is an example of what I did there, right? So I had a prospecting method that I was using to get clients. And so I made a digital course teaching how I was getting these clients, and I sold that. And that was the start of what eventually became Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires and why we're all here. But it was a strategic decision by me to take something I was already doing. I was already doing this prospecting. I was already going out and getting clients this way. Now let's see if I can make this into a course on how I'm doing it. And then I'll sell that, and that will create an additional stream of income and I don't have to really do a lot of additional work. And so if you look at a lot of the things that I've done over the years, that's what I'm doing, right? Like I figure something out and then like, okay, well, can we make more money from that? Can we how can we take this thing we're doing and figure out more streams of income that can come from it, right? So that's another way to do it, right? That's another way to build it up.
Yeah, and look, you get your agency humming along and lots of reoccurring revenue customers and lots of one-off ones, and you sort of you tick the values up and stuff, and then you've got to have a mindset on what are the other things I'm going to dive into for those slow dollars and the investment opportunity and stuff, because I mean you can put your money under your mattress, it might be safe there. You can put it in the bank and you might get 1 or 2% interest. Maybe it's a bit more these days. I know that it's been pretty terrible for a long time. Or you can diversify into other areas, is to say, well, the next 2 years I'm going to focus on buying shares that are a safe investment or something, or whatever it is. This is where you talk to a professional again. Talk to someone who knows how to create wealth and knows the right systems and processes and can give you some really sound advice on those kind of investment opportunities and stuff, and what actually fits with you. I know I've been using a particularly poor one for a number of years now. I've been buying slow racehorses, and it's a really good way to lose money. So I've got nine racehorses in 3 countries, and only one of them's any good. So the other 8 are a real drain on resources, so but hey, that's it's not a particularly good investment opportunity. My wife would spend the same amount of money in shares, and she makes money out of her investments, but I certainly don't in mine.
Somebody said, can you pass some of your streams to us? I'm going to tell you something. If I did that, it would be a huge disservice to you. Like the whole fun and excitement and the joy in all this is figuring it out and creating it, right? Like, man, like, boy, you can do this. I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. So like, just freaking go do it, right? Just go do it.
Yeah, and look, another key thing that I learned a long time ago was talk to people who are doing it. Glean knowledge, because knowledge is power, and making those kind of decisions, it can be very nerve-wracking. You don't want to sort of become just the customer, and you're getting a sales pitch on these things and that. Talk to people, friends, family, even someone in your community that you just know is like successful and they're out there and they're doing those things. Go and have a cup of coffee and pick their brain, because that's often where the best tactics come from. And I know I have a friend in New Zealand who is the biggest manufacturer of small goods, like sausages and bacon and stuff in Australasia, and he's worth an incredible amount of money. And I've had a couple of sit-down lunches with him and stuff, and just got advice on from him, because he's been there and done that at a very, very high level. And yet he started out as a butcher in New Brighton with a small shop, and used to open on Saturday mornings as well. And it was he started from very humble beginnings, and he built it into a very, very large business. So those are the people you want to go and tap them for advice, because you you'll really learn a lot of things, and you'll learn a lot about what you should be doing and what you should be focusing on moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So Patty said, just wondering how Nick is doing. Is everything okay? Yeah, Nick's doing great. So the baby's due this month. So anytime this month, I think October 17th is the official due date. So right around the corner, the Ponte family will be growing. So, Patty, this is interesting because we haven't really talked about this. So I might as well just tell you guys what's going on. So one of the things that Nick and I do in our partnership is we always look for like the strengths that each of us has, the things that we want to do, and we try to divide up the things we do based on that. So and this is I'm going to talk about this because maybe if you're thinking about getting a partner or being in a partnership or something like that, somebody else was asking me about this the other day, and I was telling them, they were like, well, what do you recommend in a partner and all that? And like, I'm going to just give you a couple of little things because this, I think, also helps with the wealth creation and all that too, because I know that Nick has made me better in areas, and I hope that I've made him better in areas, and that working together has created something and generated something way bigger than either one of us could or would have done on our own. So, one of the first things to know about partnerships is, look, you're not perfect and your partner's not going to be perfect. So forget that. Like, you're both going to make mistakes. You're both going to be lacking in areas. You're both going to have issues. You got to be able to communicate and deal with them and do that. Right. So that's the first. But the other part is like, well, how do you divide up the workload? So each person is like, for us, we have a 50-50 partnership. So it's important that the work is distributed evenly, right? In the beginning, I was doing all of the sales and marketing and creating the courses, and Nick was doing all of the behind the scene things. Really, the ideal situation you want is someone who can do the marketing and all of that stuff, and then someone that can do operations, an integrator operator. So a marketer, salesperson, an integrator operator. Those two things, you will crush it. You will crush it because you can focus on your strengths. Now, when we started, that's how we were. Marketer, salesperson, integrator, operator. As we've grown, Nick has developed his skills in the salesperson marketing area. I've worked on my skills in the integration processes area. We've also grown our team. So, we have an operations manager in Cameron who is amazing, right? Who makes sure all the data stuff is happening, right? Because
he's called Cam the Man for a reason, because
Cam the Man for a reason. Yeah,
he gets everything done. He's incredibly fast and so good at his job. Yeah, yep. He's a great guy to have around.
Yep. And so we've switched off kind of what we do. Like, sometimes I'll do certain areas and he'll do different areas. And so recently we were talking about like, well, what do we want to do in the business? What are the things we're excited about doing and all that stuff? And I really loved it. Nick loves doing the live show. Don't get me wrong. He likes coming on here, but he also likes to have a day that he can just focus on doing some deep work and stuff like that. So I said, look, why don't you just take Friday? That'll be your deep work focus day. And I'll just do the live shows, and we'll get Richie to come on and help. We'll get Jason. So that's really the kind of the process behind what we're doing now. And we're going to kind of shift it into more of like a show about the community and things like that. So anyway, all of that was just to say Nick's doing fine. He's doing great. And he'll be on here from time to time. But for the most part, you're going to see me. You're going to see Richie. You're going to see a few other people, all those kinds of things. So, hey, one thing I want to do.
Then you can appreciate the fact that I've still got a face for radio.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Tom, just quickly, I see Joseph Percy Avery. He's got some issues with his reach course. Joseph, please send a message to support at Offline Sharks, and we'll be able to get someone onto that for you. So, please do that.
Yep, Joseph, it's offlinesharks.com/support. And also, too, that's the best place to go. You may want to check the school group as well. There may be an answer to your question already in there. So check that out, too. Richie, we're going to do the shout outs here in a minute. Before we get to the shout outs, I want to share something. So Nick and I were asked to be a part of this. I'm going to let this link scroll across the screen. It's offlinesharks.com/UPB. It's a thing called the Ultimate Profit Boot Camp. And it's kind of like an online virtual summit type situation. And let me show you guys this. I want to show you the page because there's some amazing people involved in this. We're involved in it. You may want to go check it out. It's I think it starts Thursday the 19th. So here, let me just share my screen here. So you see this? So Robert Kiyosaki is one of the speakers.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We're talking about automating your wealth and finances. I found Robert's books to be super, super inspiring. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is great. Cash Flow Quadrant is amazing. We're talking about, building, automating wealth. That's a really great book about that. So Robert Kiyosaki, Perry Marshall, Rich Schefren, Matt Basic, and of course us. We're going to be there as well. So if you go to the link offlinesharks.com/UPB, you can sign up. It's a free VIP ticket. There's actually 30 entrepreneurs on here, so you can just check it out, see who you want, all that stuff. But go check it out. We're super excited to be a part of it. For those of you that don't know, I got to hang out with Rich Schefren in Connecticut. I'm part of Brian Kurtz's Titans Accelerator group, and he had a live event. He does these live events called Titans of Direct Marketing, and he invited the accelerators were able to go. So I was able to go to this event, and it was super small. There was only maybe 20 people there. There was Rich Schefren, there was Todd Brown, there was David Deutsch, there was some big players in the supplement business. Of course, Brian Kurtz was there. Stephen Pressfield, the author that we talk about all the time about, the War of Art and Turning Pro, other books we've recommended on this show before. Like, he was there. So it was really great. Anyway, so I met Rich at that event. We've been talking, looking for some ways to work together. And so he reached out and was like, hey, be a part of this. So this is awesome. Go check it out. offlinesharks.com/UPB. I will, I think what we should do now, Richie, is let's do some shout outs.
Oh yeah. Hey, straight into it.
I didn't even have to bring it up. We're getting awesome. So every week we love to celebrate. The people in our community that take action and get some clients, get some results, collect some checks, right? They're building their wealth. They're getting their process going. So that's what these shout outs are all about. You can check out this post in our Facebook group if you just go to offlinesharks.com/shout outs. So first up, a couple of Remote Millionaires members. That's where the movers and the shakers are. Tim Black, he got a new client, $19.50 a month, SEO and Google Business Profile Management for a home service business.
Yeah, that's solid.
Awesome work, Tim. Super solid. Joanne Westwood confirmed an $800 a month deal for website content refresh and SEO service.
Well, and Joanne just keeps going and going and going. I think she's come out of the gates and nothing's going to stop her.
Man,
another great win.
Yeah, and she signed some big deals too. She's got some great stuff going on. So excellent work. Let's see who's up next. Martin Lane closed a couple of new deals, a $3,500 website.
Solid.
$350 for premium hosting.
Excellent.
And a 2-time chatbot license, $220 each.
So that, so I guess some of that is he's adding to the original sale. Yeah, it's I don't know if that's one customer, Martin, but if it is, and you're upselling those things as well, that's where the real money lies. So yeah, congratulations, that's a great deal.
Yeah, and that is an awesome way to go about it as well, right? To add additional stuff. And then Storm and Norman, another Remote Millionaires member, 2 new SEO clients, concrete business and a metal siding company, $1,800, $1,900.
I just got a note pop up here that the last week's shout outs.
When I read that last one, I was like, I wonder if that's it. Hold on.
Yeah. So, but hey, congratulations for last week. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm sure Joanne has had something else this week as well, without question. So, yeah.
Oh, now the red image is there. Okay. Well, we get to double celebrate some. That's great. Hold on, Richie.
We didn't get to Norm in last week's, but I know Norm is he's away on holiday at last. This guy is the guy that's worked every day since I met him about 2.5 years ago, and he literally works every day. So I'm really pleased to see that he is going on holiday. I think he's off to Japan or somewhere. So have a great time, Norm. Enjoy yourself.
Awesome. All right, now we're on the right track, right? Now we're on the right track. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So let's start off with Michelle Pitcher. Landed her highest paying client to date, $5,000 for an animated video project for the Marriott hotels.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I saw this in the Facebook group. I was like, yeah, super exciting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, what a great client. Yep. Adam has been crushing it with, I don't know if you saw his stuff in Reach, Richie. He's been crushing it with that, but he's another Remote Millionaires member. He landed a $699 deal for on-site SEO, site updates, plus updating social profile info. This deal has the possibility to turn into a monthly recurring for Facebook ads, social content, etc.
Awesome. Well done, Adam. And yeah, Adam he's really taking action, getting stuck into it.
Yeah, Marvin Drobe's new website, Google Business Optimization and Monthly Maintenance, email, SMS marketing, SEO, and social media for an antique furniture sales and restoration business, $1,800 a month. And then Mr. Richie Cronin.
Who's this guy?
I was going to ask you about this. I'm glad I didn't, because now I see that it's on here, because you were like messaging me about these, and I thought these are so awesome. So 2 Google Business Profile fixed deals, $597 New Zealand. He sold, that was your first one, right, in the USA, $597?
Yeah. Well, and these are the first ones that I've done through my sales funnels as well. So I built a sales funnel for the product, and I've been pushing them out there, and so finally getting some traction with them, which is great.
Yeah, and how are you? So are you closing the deals with a call? Or is it
that's how I've sold it previously, is using the activation call and the reach system. I've been doing that way. These ones, I'm actually put it out there with a retargeting pixel and doing Facebook advertising, and also I did a cold email blast specifically about them as well.
And then they're buying through the pages.
They go to the sales funnel and buy the product there. There's a little bit of a story. So I know we get to the mailer spots in a second, but one of the mailer spots is a bakery nearby, and my birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. So they said, "Hey, look, we'll take a mailer spot." And Mandy went, "Go and order your cake from the bakery then." And I said, "Okay, I'll go and get the cake and stuff." And that. I went back and I thought, well, I can spend money with you. You're just about to spend money with me. And I went back in and said, "Hey, how about I give you a bigger spot?" So instead of it being the $400 spot, I give you the $550 spot. And etc. And then you just give me the cake instead, and I'll just give you the bigger spot. So it's a bit of a barter. And I thought, well, that worked well. And then I've got another one on the burn for a bit of catering for my party as well. So same. And I thought, there's nothing wrong doing a bit of bartering. It's good. But that the first Fix My GBP deal that came through from Auckland in New Zealand is a swingers club.
That's an interesting niche.
I haven't come across that one before, and so Mandy said, "Are you going to do a barter with them?" And I said, "No."
Like, what are you talking about, Mandy? Yeah. So I was going to say about the bakery, you were able to have your cake and eat it too.
Yes, very much so.
That's you don't really hear that often, so that's great. Well, awesome. So look, I just want to clarify, because this is something that you and I have been talking about behind the scenes. We've been kind of like starting to flush out an idea of what to do this, but the Google Business Profile thing, you're running the ads and they're buying directly from a page. You're not having to get on the phone with them, correct?
Nope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No phone calls. They're just
what about the mailer spots? Because this is something that really interests me, because I've always told Nick, I was like, man, like I've always had the most success with the mailer just by walking in and showing businesses and just doing good old fashioned networking and that kind of stuff, right? I know other people have done it other ways, but like just for me, that's just the thing that's worked the best. So I'm super excited about having a way to fill a mailer that doesn't require doing that. And so the mailer, is that the same thing? You're just sending them to the page and they're signing up? That's
I've got the sort of first traction with it from doing a video email and sending it out to all of my customers on East Nash Local. and I got a couple come back from that. So so that's the first part, and then the way that I've been actually working the mailer now, and this system works a lot better. I mean, that's I went out on Wednesday and got all these people here, and two of them have already emailed me and said, hey, we're really keen, you can give us some more. So now I make a video, a specific video for them, and send it to them, and close the sale that way, because that has the price sheet and everything else that goes with it. And but you can't beat walking in the door of places, because if you're trying to fill out a community resource site, just going in and saying, can we put you on for free? And then, we're doing this mailer as well. Would you have an interest in having a spot on that?
Yeah. I mean, that crushes. Yeah. I mean, I know that from experience. Like, that crushes. Like, I mean, and when somebody was asking last week, like, what would you do if you're dropping in? Like, that's exactly what I do. I do the mailer. I just walk in. I mean, $40 to get some samples made up. Like, it just, and a no-brainer. So let me finish this. So yeah, sold two mailer spots, $465, $625. And you did 3 featured listings in the last 10 days at $49 a pop, which is the automated. Again, this is what Richie is doing that's so great. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on the live shows and why we did reach and all that stuff is because he's starting to build in these automations and processes that generate the sales automatically. Like these featured listings for his influencer site, his community resource website. Like, this is a built out email system. So the person gets a cold email. If they take the free offer, they're offered this upgrade. It all happens via email. There's no direct contact with the person to make the sale, right? You only talk to them after the sale is made. And so that is one of the really strong things about what we have in the reach system and what Richie set up there, and then the activation call and all that stuff. So, I mean,
well, really, and those automations go further, Tom, in that when we get a premium listing, it automatically, the system, the reach system, sends an email to the VA who builds that premium listing saying this premium listing has been confirmed, or this free listing has been confirmed. So it automatically does it. So I don't have to go and say to someone, hey, you've got to build this one today and you've got to do that one. They just know it, and it's done within 24 hours. It's a very, very good process, and that's leveraging automations to make your business more efficient and get things done, because that frees my time up to carry on making customer contact and making other sales and those things. So yeah, it's the automations and reach are just second to none, and the credit to that goes to Jason Rand, who just is an absolute genius with it, and he really built in some very, very clever stuff that happens behind the scenes in it.
Well, I mean, the whole process that the team put together, like you and Jason and everybody that was involved there in doing the reach machine, like, I mean, the thing that really sets that apart from anything else in the market, and this is, and this is just the reality of it, is it is a already flushed out, fully done business system. Now, it takes, like, you have to set it up. You got to add some things to it. You got to customize some stuff.
It's a lot of work.
Well, I mean, I would say
how you do it once you do it right, and you've got something that is going to really put your business on steroids.
But and when you say it's a lot of work, though, it's really like, it's just a different kind of work, because you don't have to create the automations. You don't have to figure out the offers. You don't have to write the emails. Like, all of the really hard stuff that normally keeps people from doing things is already done for you. Really, the work that Richie's talking about is like, okay, we got to add our business information. We want to make the emails look good. We want to make sure our community resource site looks good. Like, it's like checking off some boxes and making it all fit with what you're doing.
Build and clean our list.
Build and clean our list. That's the other part, right?
The first one's really important. And but you got to kind of have a mind to doing all of those things at the same time. And I know I've seen people come into the program and say, I want to get it set up by the end of the week. And it's just not going to happen. You have to pay attention to it.
Take long to set up.
It's true. It doesn't take a huge amount, but you've just got to be focused and dedicated and work through it. And those that do that and do it really well wind up with something that really generates a huge, it fills that funnel for you every single day. It just keeps on doing it. And that's when you can then move on to running a busy agency and just growing that customer base and growing that revenue as well. So, it's Yeah, it works. Simple as that.
Yeah, if you guys are, the reason I turned off the screen sharing is because I wanted to grab this link. If you guys are interested in just like seeing how we applied automation to cold email prospecting, which that's really what the Reach Machine is all about. It's a cold email prospecting system. You can just go to offlinesharks.com/cold. You guys can check it out. It's a free training. You'll see the whole system, everything like that. So really, really good stuff. All right, let's finish our shark shout out. So we've got another reoccurring shout out member here, and that is Donna Norris. She shared that almost a year ago she was at zero. Almost a year ago she was at zero in the Facebook group, just starting to get acclimated, right? But thanks to Christmas challenge, she is almost at 10K a month in monthly recurring revenue and has finally outsourced her SEO.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well done. Congratulations, Donna.
Man, that is, hold on. I gotta get some applause here because Donna. There we go. I mean, that is a story that just like warms my heart because I remember this. I remember when Donna was in the Facebook group trying to figure things out. And then last year we did this thing called the Christmas challenge and she jumped in with both feet. She started getting clients and she has just kept at it and worked. And it's awesome to see that paying off, Donna. So congratulations. Excellent stuff. Once you hit 10K a month, you got to let us know because we do a special celebration of over 100K. So, and then, by the way, I don't know if anybody out there, if you're out there in the group and you've crossed 100K in revenue, you need to let us know because we would love to celebrate you on the shout outs. We do have a special thing we do for people over 100K. So let us know in the chats. And so you guys know that's a combined total of $10,285 for the week of September 30th through October 6th. The grand total, $1,216,065 that the people in our community have collected to themselves. Nick and I, Richie, we get none of that. This is the money they have collected and kept in their pockets. $1,216,000.
Well, actually, Tom, I did get some of that.
Well, but yeah, because you were in the shout outs.
I know. Yeah.
It's the start of 2023. So congratulations, everybody. Excellent work. We want to keep that number rising. So get out there, take some action, share your wins, share your successes, and let's get moving. So awesome stuff. Well, man, this has been an amazing live show. It went by super fast. So a couple things, guys. A couple things.
It was on autopilot.
Yeah, a couple things. One, if you want to go to the Ultimate Profit Bootcamp, check that out. Go to offlinesharks.com/UPB. And then if you want to see how we've applied automation to cold email, go to offlinesharks.com/cold. It's a free training. Shows what the Reach Machine is, how it all works, all that stuff. Remember, again, we're not financial advisors. We're not giving you financial advice. We're not giving you
unless advice. You're looking for a slow racehorse, don't ask me.
Yeah, don't ask Richie. Yeah. But I hope that what we talked about on today's shows gets your brain churning, gets you thinking, gets you starting to set some aggressive goals and get yourself set up for success. Remember, we're all works in progress. You're not going to be perfect at this out of the gate. I'm not perfect at it. Nick's not perfect at it. Richie's not perfect at it.
Definitely not perfect.
We just want to keep moving forward, right? We just want to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And if we get in a bad situation, we want to learn from that and make sure that doesn't happen again, right? That's the key. There's no shame in being put in a bad situation. What the thing we don't want to happen is we don't just want to keep going forward and be in that position over and over and over again because there's actions we could be taking that will make it so we don't have to be in that position. That's what I'm getting at, right? So, if you find yourself in a bad situation or you found yourself in multiple bad situations, like, hey, that's okay. Let's just make a decision today to change it and figure out what actions we need to take to make sure we're never in these situations again. They're going to be slow. It's going to take time. It's not an overnight matter. We don't fix them right away, right? So just hang in there and stay good. And then before we get out of here, I want to help somebody else build their wealth and stuff by giving away some money. So let's play the money song.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, bling, bling, cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
All right, our 2 winners today are Howard Bearden and Sandy Alexander. You got some Cash App money coming your way. The team will reach out, or you can share your info in the chat. Also, one more thing before we go. This week, we do have a Member of the Week. Now, every week, we like to celebrate. Where is our Member of the Week? Hold on. Shishan just said, make sure you do Member of the Week. I'm looking in the group. Oh, Shishan, I don't see him. Oh, aha. Success. I'm going to give you guys my number 1 rule. Never let failure go to your head. My mom used to tell me that. She would say, Tom, never let failure go to your head. So just keep going until, never let it go to your head. If you fail, no big deal. All right, so our Member of the Week, we send out this amazing Shark Swag Watch, which, by the way, is getting ready to be phased out. We have been working on a brand new swag box. Oh, you don't have to be sad. There's a new swag box. There's a new treasure chest. It's going to have a different look. It's going to be amazing. Cameron and the team have been working diligently on it. It's going to be awesome. But we send our Member of the Week, the swag box. It's filled with some awesome stuff that only the recipients know about. And today are... Our Member of the Week is Michelle Pitcher for her exciting new win, which is the highest paying for her thus far. Congratulations, Michelle. You're going to get an Offline Shark Swag treasure chest sent your way. The team will be reaching out to you for that. Thanks for being a valued member of our community. Thanks for sharing your win. Thanks for showing and providing motivation to others to do the same. So awesome stuff, everybody. Man, Richie, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tom. Love it. This is my last slow racehorse. They don't last long, and wind up on a stick.
Yeah. Right. No, that's rare. So, you guys help me out. Tomorrow is the dreaded, or I shouldn't say dreaded. Tomorrow is the anticipated rivalry of my football team, Oklahoma and Texas. So that's going on tomorrow. The Red River rivalry, they call it now, showdown.
Does that mean I'm going for Texas or Oklahoma?
You better be going for Oklahoma, Richie. I know we have a lot of Texas people on here too, because they're always telling me.
Yeah, but go the Titans. Yeah. Hey.
Texas is looking really great.
Yeah.
Texas is looking really great. It's going to be tough. So, but yeah. We're going to see. It's going to be fun. Should be a good game. So listen, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Practice aloha. We will see you here next Friday. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Until then, stay safe. Aloha, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.